Our next example comes from a series of clips that show the Union's inability to find high targets, as well as some of the poor decision making in the final third. The first clip comes from the Columbus game, early on in the game, where the Union have just won a throw-in. Jose Martinez is on the ball, and he will actually play it back into pressure to Alejandro Bedoya. Now, as Bedoya starts to cut the ball inside, you're going to notice his high target up here, Kasper Shabilko, is unable to get the ball because of the three Columbus defenders surrounding Bedoya. Anthony Fontana is just outside of the screen. He was running away. Jamiro Montero was running away and turned around and came back for the ball, but still not in a good angle to receive the pass. Leon Flock was the only other option to get out of space, but he was sealed off by another Columbus defender. So this is an example of where the Union are unable to get the ball high to a target. And instead, they turn the ball over. Luckily for the Union in this sequence, they were able to counterpress and win the ball back, which leads to another turnover. So now we have Kasper Shabilko leading a counterattack with Anthony Fontana on the side of him. So as Shabilko's on the ball, what you're going to notice now is you have three Columbus defenders getting back behind the ball. You have two Columbus defenders tracking Shabilko. Anthony Fontana is the only option up high. And what he's going to do is he's going to run right into Shabilko's space, where now we have a clog. And here, instead of putting his foot on the ball, Shabilko tries to dribble the two defenders, even though he has supporting players behind him as an outlet. And instead, this play results in a Union turnover and recovery sprints going the other way. Our next clip comes in the second half against Inter Miami, where the Union are just about to score the game's opening goal. Here we have Olivier Baizo receiving a pass with space out wide, with Alejandro Bedoya coming over to join in on a 2-on-1. Now as Baizo plays the ball off to Bedoya, he's going to recognize that their 2-on-1 has now turned into a 2-on-3, with Miami's defenders pressing in to close the space. When he looks over his shoulder, what he's looking for is a little bit of help. Kasper Shabilko is now the target, but instead of edging inside the Miami defender to act as a third man option, he is going to be reactive to the ball, and as a result, we're going to get a Union turnover. So now the 2-on-1 has turned into Bedoya and Baizo tracking back on a recovery sprint. Our final clip comes from the first half of the Champions League second leg against Atlanta, where the Union had the opportunity to put the game and the tie away at the end of the half. Here we have Anthony Fontana on the ball, leading a counterattack, which becomes a 4-versus-4. As Fontana starts to cut inside, you're going to notice the 2-on-1 building at the far end. But because Fontana's pass is late and behind, now the Union are forced to recycle. Jamiro Montero is offside, but as he comes back inside, he's too narrow and doesn't provide an option to the left. So as Santos plays the ball back to Fontana, now he's going to make a good first touch to avoid the Atlanta defender. And this is where we have multiple options again to attack and break down. Shabilko has good width to the side, so a simple pass out wide to Shabilko could lead to a cross, either at the near post for Santos or the back post to Montero. But because Fontana rushes a shot, the Union attack is stopped. Now, directly after this attempt, Atlanta would go down and score the game's opening goal and narrow the tie and make the second half much more interesting than it could have been.